Not many of us realise, as we use this historic structure every day, how impossibly brilliant the engineering of it had to be to defy a generation of doubters. Its engineering remains something Londoners should treasure as remarkable, groundbreaking, and emphatically ours. It is one of the true wonders of the Western world. First propositioned over 150 years ago, it is now one of the world's busiest transport networks and finest examples of engineering. London has always been a popular destination, but never more than at the beginning of the 19th century, when it transformed into the largest city in the world. It was, on the face of it, an ambitious idea, running trains, and steam trains at that, in tunnels underneath London. In 1862, the Times described it as an insult to common sense. But the idea already existed. A tunnel under London had been built. It was back in 1843 when the world's first underwater passage was being completed, the Thames Tunnel. A long and costly project claiming many lives. It allowed a new technology to develop, the tunnelling shield, a piece of equipment that would support a tunnel's walls and roof as it was dug out. It was an innovation. By 1855, Parliament had everything it needed to approve the construction of the first underground railway in the world, the Metropolitan. Using cut and cover technology, workers excavated the entire 3.5-mile tunnel, laying the road back over the top as they went. The challenge was enormous, disruption unprecedented. By January the 10th, 1863, the Metropolitan line had opened for business. It was an immense success. Parliament wasted no time. Plans for more tunnels were approved, and a splurge of construction hit London. The Bakerloo, District, Central, Waterloo and City, Piccadilly and Great Northern lines are all constructed deep beneath London in no more than 40 years. The exercise was an engineering phenomenon. By 1890, engineers even possessed the technology to replace the steam engine. The combination of electric traction, hydraulic lifts, and safe tunnelling technology give us the world's first deep tube electric railway. It was 1905. Engineers had given London a glimpse into the future. The only price to pay was to accommodate the largest power station ever built in Europe. Lots Road Power Station, or Powerhouse as it was often called, went on to serve London for the next 100 years. The electrification and tunnelling of an entire network had not come cheap, and investors now looked for a return. Thousands of Londoners were now using the tube daily. Commuting and leisure travel was rife, but the underground is a deep and complex set of tunnels that are a maze to navigate. Getting in and out of the stations was not easy, and investors keen to increase passenger numbers searched for a solution. Back in 1911, engineers had devised a new means of entering the station, the escalator. The machines, or moving staircases as they were originally called, were so successful that 22 were installed throughout the London Underground. The system was finally working. Nowhere makes this point more clearly than Piccadilly Circus. Constructed entirely below ground, engineers delivered a showpiece station. 11 fast escalators, ticket machines, and a new circular entrance hall built entirely below a busy thoroughfare in London in only 4 years. By the 1930s, the London transport system was unquestionably the best in the world. It was the framework for the town, shaping daily life and spreading a city well beyond its traditional borders. Since the end of the First World War, the Underground had made remarkable progress, developing from a novel means of rapid transit under London to being one of the main instruments of suburban growth. The First World War had come and gone, but unfortunately, the Second had arrived. More than 1 million London houses were destroyed or damaged, and more than 40,000 civilians killed. Many doubted the Underground could survive. But it became a life-saving shelter, providing even headquarters for military intelligence. World War II ended in 1945. Any hope for a rapid return to pre-war underground service was, to put it mildly, unrealistic. The growth of the network stalled as rebuilding the country took precedence. A time of transition and uncertainty defined post-war London. Momentum wasn't to return until 1963, when London commemorated the completion of the 100th year of the Underground. And what better way to mark the occasion than the launch of the Victoria Line, the Underground's great engineering triumph of the 1960s. The first computer-controlled underground railway in the world, with automatic trains and ticket gates, opens in 1968. A remarkable achievement built against all odds, stretching available technology to the very limit. It was the first complete new underground line to be built in London for 60 years. The Underground was growing again. By 1971, the last steam train was withdrawn from service. And the Underground launched the world's first direct link between an airport and the capital city. The London Underground connected with Heathrow Terminals 1, 2 and 3. But despite the progression, the Underground was about to enter 3 decades of decline. The system suffered from neglect and underinvestment for the next 30 years. It was the remarkable and unpredicted turnaround in London's economic fortunes that brought us back up to speed and the next engineering challenge: the Jubilee Line extension. Engineers developed stations unlike anything seen in the history of the Underground. A spectacular construction and arguably the largest station in London, the Jubilee Line gives us Canary Wharf. Life and business flourish as the new era also sees the opening of a new fully automated light rail system called the Docklands Light Railway. East London and its docks, long abandoned, are now being regenerated and reconnected via the Underground. The extent of the capital and the size of its population have repeatedly threatened to bring it to a standstill, only for it to be rescued by engineering innovation. Needless to say, if medals were given out for areas of London that performed best during the Games of 2012, the city's transport network would surely win gold. London commuters, used to delays, must have wondered how it would cope with the world flooding into the system. But cope it did. And cope it will. Today, one of the largest and most ambitious engineering projects in Europe is underway: Crossrail. 8 giant custom-made tunnel boring machines are working 24 hours a day to excavate the ground and build concrete tunnel walls. Once complete, many thousands of Londoners will go about their business largely oblivious to its presence. Perhaps we should, every now and then at least, reflect on what the city would be like if the Tube had never existed. Be thankful for the visionaries of the past, and hopeful that their legacy will once more receive the attention it deserves.